Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and this message, it comes from a translation of a voice note that I received, and the narration reads like this. Hello my brother, how are you? Can you please post for me as anonymous? So I came into the capital city of our country looking for a better opportunity, but no matter how hard I would try to look for a better opportunity, there was something that was always coming up. When I was working as a gardener, that was when the employer that I was working for started encouraging me to try and to take a driver's license. He said that I cannot give you or to promote you when you are just a regular gardener, but at least if you get a driver's license, what I'll do is that when my kids want to go to school, then I will know that I have a driver at home. I can send you on a few errands, thereby I'll be increasing your salary. So my brother, after he had encouraged me, that was when I started trying to get a driver's license. I tried in every single possible way that I could have gotten a driver's license, but still, my brother, it failed. I even reached a point whereby I thought that maybe if I go the corruption way, maybe I'll quickly get my driver's license, but I lost my money. All of those people that were trying to do an inside deal for me, each and every time that I'll give them my money, they will come up with a lot of stories. There was one man who had told me that it was possible for him to go in my place so that he can be tested. So after he would have been tested, as he was an experienced driver, then I was going to get my license so easy like that. I ended up paying that man a lot of money, and after he had failed to come back with my driver's license, and when I tried to fight with him, he then said, if you think that I have robbed you of your money, you can go to the police station and report me to the police. My brother, I knew that like someone who sells weed, you cannot go and report that someone has stolen your weed because you are going to be arrested as well. So I chose to remain quiet, and I knew that my money had been stolen from me. As I was going around, my brother, asking myself a lot of questions, that was when I met this other man. He goes to those white garment churches, and he invited me to his church. When I went there, as someone who grew up in a Pentecostal church, this was a very different setup for me. When I went there, my brother, it was on a hot day. It was really hot, and like we all know that people who go to the white garment church, they are not allowed to worship under a building or underneath a roof. They are supposed to worship whilst they are being baked by the sun. This is their own belief. So as I was sitting there, and I was regretting as to why I had stopped going to the church where I was going, and I was regretting as to why I had stopped being a Pentecostal, the church where I had grew up in, and now I was here worshiping this very strange religion. To me, it was a very strange religion, even though it is a very popular religion in our country. As I was busy doubting myself and asking myself a lot of questions, that was when this other man stood up. This man, when he stood up, he started singing. As he was singing, that was when he started prophesying, and he pointed at me and he said that he had a prophecy that he wanted to give to me. God had given him a prophecy, and he said that I can see that you are very doubtful of the place where you are, but I want to tell you that you coming here to this church, it is not by your own will, but it is by God's design, because your time has arrived for you to be healed, for you to be delivered. The time has arrived. That was when they told me to go and kneel down in front of the church. They were telling me how to do the things as someone who didn't even know how things were properly done in that church. They made me to drink some water, that water that they place inside their small clay plates. And after I had drank that water, I then blacked out, my brother. after I had woken up, I saw that I was muddy and I was really dirty. That was when the prophet started telling me everything that had happened. After I had drank that holy water, I was told that an evil demonic spirit had started speaking, and that evil demonic spirit was saying that it had been sent by one of my uncles, because that uncle of mine is his own goblins / dogologies that he uses for farming. So when these goblins wanted someone, like they wanted a companion, that was when my uncle dedicated my life to those goblins, and they were the ones that were giving me all of the bad luck that were happening in my life. So they started praying for me until they had managed to chase away those demonic forces, and they told me that I had to continue coming back to that church so that I can be delivered 100%. My brother, I tried. Even that church tried to give me a wife who was also worshiping at that same church. But as a man who grew up in a Pentecostal church, this was a very different setup for me. And as we all know that they do not use the Bible as such when they are busy prophesying and preaching. So that is where I had my argument, like, how come you do not use the word of God when you are preaching? So I stopped going to that church, and as soon as I had stopped going to that white garment church, then all of my problems, they came back again. I was then fired. After I had gotten fired, that was when I got another job. It was in that same street where I was working as a gardener. When I started working for that family, this family that I was working for, their roots where they come from Malawi. Then their parents came to Zim. Then their parents passed away in Zim. So when I was working for that family, I saw that the family, they were quite traditional people. They were always holding their traditional ceremonies at their house. So I got interested into that stuff, seeing that God was taking very long to answer my prayers. And I thought that now it was time for me to get married. And already I had someone whom I thought was going to be my wife, but there was a little bit of a situation that was happening there. My father was someone who was a little bit wealthy, not that wealthy, but wealthy according to Zim standards. So it was really difficult, because I knew that for me to get her, I needed to have a little bit of money. That was when my boss's wife told me that if I was going to respect my ancestors, then they were going to give me the free gifts of this world. They taught me how to smoke the powdered tobacco, how to communicate with my ancestors. Then I started having a lot of dreams. If only I had known my brother, I would have ignored those dreams. So when I started having all of those dreams, sometimes I'll be having the dreams whereby I'll be walking around with my ancestors. Sometimes we'll be going on a hunt. Then they started showing me some of the fabrics that they wanted me to buy so that they can bless me. I think that people who come from Zim, they know these fabrics that I am talking about. There are some of those black fabrics. Then there are some of those that have different designs. Those are the ones that I used to see in my dreams. My ancestors used to show me all of those different designs in my dreams. My brother, after I had had those dreams, I told my bosses, and they encouraged me to go and buy those fabrics. After I had bought those fabrics, they took me to this other witch doctor. That was when I made the deal with the devil. But what I didn't know at that time is that you cannot have a dream whereby your ancestors will just show you something, then you rush and you go and buy all of those items without any of your relatives being present. So what was happening all that time when I was thinking that I was seeing my ancestors in my dreams, those were just demons that were coming to visit me and manipulating my dreams so that I can think that I was seeing my ancestors in my dreams. So the moment that I was taken to that witch doctor, that was when I sealed the deal. What started happening to me, my brother, fear entered into my heart. Unnatural fear. Whenever it will be night time, I would feel this unnatural fear even when I am in a room and the light goes off, I'll feel that there is someone or something that will be wanting to attack me. Right now, my brother, the fear is still in my heart. What I do is that I recently bought one of those mobile power stations. That is the one that I am using. If that thing goes on low battery, I am even afraid to stay inside the house because I am afraid of the things that visits me at night. I cry throughout the night. If anyone comes to visit me, that is the complaint that they will give me in the morning. They will say, why is it that you cry throughout the night, as if there is something that will be tormenting you? And indeed, my brother, there is something that will be tormenting me. Sometimes I can see that a lot of demonic women, they will enter into my room, then they will start to attack me. These women that enter into my room, they are always with very long nails. You know, those long nails that some women wear. And they will start scratching me, and it will be very painful when they will be scratching me with those nails. It will be like they would want to pull me out of bed, but it's like they do not have that strength to pull me out of bed. So what they end up doing is that they keep on scratching me and scratching me. My brother, even if I sit, like if I just sit on my bed with my foot resting on the floor, sometimes I can feel a hand that will be grabbing my leg. My life that I am living, Brother Nashi, it is a life that is filled with demonic torment. I am even afraid to stay alone because of these demonic attacks that keep on happening to me. Sometimes I even joke with one of my friends that one day I am going to wake up as a dead man because of all the things that keep on happening to me. I have visited several traditional healers and they have failed to assist me. As for my bosses that took me to that witch doctor, I have complained to them, and when we went back to that witch doctor, the witch doctor said that